I'm Jordan Hatfield. This is Faster Film Critic. Today on the show, we talk Nobody 2 with Chase Fugel and Nobody because Kolter's got some friends coming into town. He's got to entertain. He says he doesn't have time. I don't know. Nobody 2 is a 2025 action film directed by Timo Tchayanto starring Bob Odenkirk, Connie Nielsen, and Christopher Lloyd. One Letterboxd viewer says this film is pure cinema. Get in. We're going cinephiling. Senor Chase, how you doing, my man?
What's up, dude?
No offense, but it feels a little lonely here without the Kolter.
Yeah, I know. I can feel his presence missing.
Just because it'll make me feel better, let me pretend to be him for the intro. What's up, guys? I feel better already. Let's proceed.
Yeah, we need Kolter. We need your voices. We need you to come back.
Yes, Kolter, can't wait to have you back. Chase, you and I have not talked about Nobody 2. I have no idea how you feel about it, but I'm willing to guess. In fact, I'll put money on it. Big money on it. This is not your prediction for Academy Award Best Picture of 2025. Am I correct?
You know me well, Jordan. You know me well.
Well, let's go on over to Letterboxd, where we read Gambit_96 says, literally the best movie I've seen in my entire life. 5 stars.
Wow.
Alex says, my God, is this what peak feels like? 5 stars. And Diego, he says, felt like seeing the second coming of Christ. Action movies are in good hands. 5 stars.
Our movie theaters are not in good hands. That's my response to that.
Well, I'm a little bit more optimistic than that. I think there's some great movies coming out today. But tell me, Chase, what did you think of Nobody 2?
Dude, Nobody 2 was a trip. This was not what I was expecting. But I think all 3 of those guys you just mentioned were sitting in front of me in my theater because they were dying. There was a group of 3, and they were dying the entire time. They couldn't stop laughing.
Good for them. Chase, let's start with the premise. Okay, we've got Bob Odenkirk, and he's a nobody. But he's not just an average nobody. He's actually a trained government assassin. And when the government needs someone to disappear, this is the guy they call, okay? So he is the John Wick of the United States government. And in this film, he's working to pay off a debt that he owes, and he gets burned out, and he decides he needs a vacation. So he takes his family and he goes on vacation. And it just so happens that the location he chooses to vacation has a police force that is entirely corrupt, and they are working with the criminal organization to launder money. Now tell me, is this a strong foundation for a sequel in this franchise? Did they start off with the right idea?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't say good ground, but decent ground.
Okay, so let's take this premise and let's hand it over to someone like David Fincher. Have your expectations changed? Are you now expecting a great film?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the premise isn't bad, but we both agree that this is far from a great film. Where does it go wrong?
It feels like it was written by ChatGPT.
Agreed, but this wasn't written by ChatGPT. It was written by Derek Kolstad, who not only wrote the original Nobody, but he wrote the entire John Wick franchise, including Ballerina. This is a very successful writer in Hollywood.
Wow.
Now, to be fair, he co-wrote Nobody 2 with Aaron Rabin, and Aaron Rabin has really done nothing. He is a nobody. So it's maybe not entirely Derek Kolstad, but I mean, this wasn't ChatGPT.
Yeah, I couldn't believe when I saw this film had a $25 million budget. It was like a gut punch. I couldn't believe it. Just that the studios were willing to give this guy so much money.
I mean, he's a successful writer, and to be fair, I mean, Nobody wasn't that bad. I actually enjoyed the first half of Nobody. It got a little silly there at the end, second half, but I mean, I think it was worth a watch, so I recognize why we have a sequel here. Money.
Yeah. My biggest problem with the movie is him as a character. He just feels so boyish.
Yeah, I mean, the writing here is bad. And particularly the dialogue in some places, it's really bad. If I'm Derek Kolstad, I'm embarrassed. If I'm Aaron Rabin, I'm probably thinking about finding a new career at this point. I thought it was bad.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about Bob Odenkirk here for a second, because I think he was miscast. I like Bob Odenkirk. I like him a lot. I think he's a great actor. I love a lot of his previous work, but I don't know that he fits in this role, you know, with the Keanu Reeves and the Denzel Washingtons and the Jason Stathams of the world. I just don't think it works. I know what they're trying to go for. He is appealing to me, a middle-aged white guy. I'm an average dude, so is Bob Odenkirk, and yet he's out there kicking ass. I get it. And there are parts of the first one that I really liked. There were some action sequences that I thought were really cool. There was some editing in the film that I thought was really cool. I thought the first half of Nobody was okay. I thought the second half of Nobody struggled. But I think Nobody 2 just emphasizes the weaknesses of this whole idea. And I think Bob Odenkirk just works less. I think this idea has been flushed out in the first one. We don't need a sequel, and it doesn't add anything. It's a cash grab.
I agree. I mean, stylistically, some cool stuff, but in the context of the rest of the movie, it's hard to even appreciate it.
Okay, so I can hear somebody say, you were way too critical. The writing isn't that bad. This is a mindless action film. Sit back, enjoy some popcorn, and just enjoy yourselves. And I get that. They're not wrong.
To put it simply, I guess what I really like about a movie is for it to make me feel human, to feel more connected. But movies like this, it feels like it's doing whatever it can to disconnect the viewer from any sort of reality.
So the Mansell family goes on vacation. And on this vacation, they go into an arcade, and a fight breaks out. And a young man involved with the fight is a baseball player, and he gets a boo-boo on his elbow. He gets his arm hurt. And it just so happens that this young man's father is Wyatt Martin. He's the sheriff in the town. And Wyatt Martin thinks about this. He decides because his son, who's got a very important arm, sustains a minor injury, the best recourse is to kill the Mansell family, particularly Hutch Mansell. So he sends his deputies out to seek revenge. Are you telling me that's not realistic, Chase?
No, you're right. You're right. I take back my point.
Good. Well, I want to read 3 more reviews from Letterboxd. Carter_Paddock says, I'm glad John Wick's wife died. Otherwise, he'd end up a deadbeat dad just like this loser. 1.5 stars. Quinn Ellisef says, only watch this because I'm too chicken shit for weapons. 1.5 stars. Love that review. And my favorite is from Josh. He says, shit from a butt. 1 star. Well, Chase, after that poetry, I don't know that there's anything more to add. Let's go ahead and rate Nobody 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. What do you give it?
You know, I'm going to go with Josh, actually. I think 1 star, shit from a butt.
Indeed. You know, a 1-star film to me is one that is so painful, I cannot wait for it to end. I'm literally completely disconnected. I'm on my phone, and I'm counting down the seconds for the credits. Nobody 2 was not that for me. There was some action sequences that I thought were fun, and the rest of it I was able to just kind of sit back and laugh at the stupidity. I really do think this film was saved by its runtime. If it was a half hour longer, it would have been painful, but the movie only comes in at 90 minutes. I could handle it, so I'm going to give it 2 stars. We want to know, what did you think of Nobody 2? Please tell us.
All right. As negative as I was on this episode, I just want to say not all hope is lost for movies in the year 2025, because last month, Ari Aster released a film called Eddington, starring Joaquin Phoenix and Pedro Pascal. I don't want to say too much about the movie. I think the less you know about it going into it, the better your experience is going to be. But if you haven't seen it already, it's one you should definitely check out.
Thank you for listening to Faster Film Critic, and please join us next week for Kolter's big return. We're going to go back to 1992 and watch what many consider to be one of the greatest westerns ever made, Unforgiven. You can also follow us on Letterboxd, Cinetrek, and Instagram. Email us at fasterfilmcritic@gmail.com. Hit us up with questions, comments, feedback, review requests, and please share this episode with your movie-loving friends.